Hello everyone, my name's Tomato Anus. Today is December 20th, 2023. This is the monthly retrospective. Yeah, that's the word, retrospective, where I go back, watch an old video of mine, talk about everything it does well, doesn't do well, trying to glean insights on how to make my videos today better, and I take notes all along the way. So today, like I said, December 20th, 2023. Also, if you're watching this December of 2024, you could have watched it a whole year earlier by going to patreon.com/tomatoanus and joining there at the middle tier and up. That gives you access to these as they come out. So you can go there, get caught up, whatever. Usual spiel that I do on all of these. So today, the next in the schedule was this speedrunning the Fallout series back to back. I actually started doing this. This is the second one of these I'm starting recording today. This is just a really long video. I'm really drained from the past month of working on videos. It's been a relentless and just really exhausting month. And I started doing this and I got around 5 minutes into the video. I'm like, I can't do this today. I'm too exhausted. I just don't feel right going through this one now because I know that I'd be checking out a quarter of the way through. It doesn't feel right. It's not right to do that, to check out like that. I should be attentive. I should have my full attention towards this. I should have my effort going towards this. And today's not the day for this. I really need to recoup over the holidays. So this month we are doing the Fallout New Vegas one. And then next month, January, once I've been able to rest after the holidays and whatnot, early next month, I will be planning right now, early next month, to then do the Fallout Anthology run. So just switching these two around, Anthology is next month, and the shorter New Vegas one is today. So this Fallout New Vegas run, it was published. I published it on June 15th, 2019, which is only 2 weeks after this anthology video released. It was, I had recently made a New Vegas video, which was this Speedrun Explained, which was like my first video to really blow up. And infinite dashing was found. It was, I remember, I'm pretty sure I show some footage of its discovery in this video, but I remember it being discovered like yesterday. I remember the footage of, I don't remember all the details. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was in the community who had this happen to them. I believe it was a newer runner. I could be wrong, but what happened was I just remember the progression of, oh, this is interesting, to, oh wait, this is actual tech. It was kind of a whirlwind of 12 to 24 hours where we went from, oh, this is really interesting how this zips you forward, to, oh, this is okay, wait, we can actually fly around like this, and then rerouting it. It was really a fun moment to be a part of the community for. And I just wanted to kind of jump on making a new video for it right away, just kind of keeping YouTube in mind. I was looking for more Fallout themed runs to do, Fallout content, but as you can see, it's one of my last ones before I really started going into Speedrun Explains. I was just ready for more content. So I really wanted to jump on it. The thumbnail, I think it's honestly my worst thumbnail. I think it doesn't make sense if you haven't seen the video. It doesn't do anything to add to the video. If I had to remake one thumbnail, it would probably be this one. But it's not worth going through the effort of doing that, in my opinion. It's one of my less popular Speedrun Explained videos. So I'm curious, and it's honestly one I really don't remember like any of. I remember this one. I know I just said, oh, I remember the whirlwind of Infinite Dash being discovered. I remember that really well, like that part of it well, but I don't remember the actual Speedrun Explained I did. I remembered this one okay, but yeah, this one's kind of a hole in my memory because I remember the anthology one really well right before it, and I remember the pirate one right after because this one's, we'll get into it in a couple months, but yeah, this is I'm really curious what this video is like and what if there's any jokes even made in it or really what's going on with it. It truly is a hole in my memory. At around this time, I was going through, I'm trying to think behind the scenes in real life stuff. I was going through a breakup at around this time, so I'm sure that clouds my memory of this time in my life. And yeah, I really don't remember a lot. So I think I'm ready to kind of jump into the actual run and see for ourselves what it's like. Yeah, I can't think of anything else really in advance to go over, but really curious what this video is like.
Hey guys, my name's Tomato Anus, the Airbud of speedrunning, and this is
Is this the first? I think this is the first also known as. Pretty sure this is the first also known as. I didn't say also known as, but it is an also known as. Interesting.
80% speedrun of Fallout New Vegas. Recently, the biggest discovery in New Vegas in over 3 years occurred, which has allowed for about 90 seconds to be saved in the run. Before we get into it though, let me preface this with I won't be going full in-depth on all the strats and tricks used in this run. There just isn't enough time for that with how the run is now, plus I've done a few New Vegas heavy commentaries recently that explain most things. If you've never seen a New Vegas run before, I recommend you watch my video covering the run before this discovery was made. Link should be in the top right corner now and also in the description. Speaking of the description, there's also a link to this run with just game audio there, if you prefer to watch without my incessant blabbering. There isn't a version of this run with original audio for my stream because I got this run in an offline session when I was doing a couple runs before heading off to work. With all that out of the way, as I said before, this is an any percent run. That means that glitches and exploits are allowed while console commands are not.
Right away, I feel like this video does a lot to dismiss itself. You know, it's right away, it's like, hey, there's not enough time to cover everything. There's 90 seconds of like, I feel like it's only hurting itself, that intro. Because right away I talk about how I disclose information on the new glitch right away, which is fine. You know, I say, yeah, there's over 90 seconds of time save, which I think is, which I don't know, maybe it's a bit too descript. I think it's good to say like, hey, there was something new found. It saves a lot of time because that gets the viewers hooked. But to divulge that information up front, it might be a little, it might, you know, save a few tricks up your sleeve. Like, maybe that's a bit pedantic saying like, wow, I said exactly how much time it saves up front. You know, it hurts the rest of the video, which like maybe, but I think you can be a bit more vague about it, and that would leave the viewer not feeling like, you know, not to say like you want to string your viewers along, but you got to bury the lead a little bit. You know, you can say it saves. You could be tongue in cheek about it. You could be, it's like, it saves well over a minute, but exactly how much, I'll never tell, or maybe I will in a few minutes or a little bit, whatever. You know, you could be a bit tongue in cheek about it. You can like be a bit coy. You don't need to dump all of that info right up front, you know? So, again, maybe a bit pedantic, but I think when you compound that with the fact that I was like, I already covered this run, I won't be going into everything. Like, go watch that one instead. Go watch that one first. There's not like There's not stream audio for this one because I did it before going to work. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of work done. Like, I don't know if I could write I don't know if I could intentionally write an intro that does more to put me off from a video than this. Because I feel like if I were to intentionally write something, it would come across as just kind of funny. Like, don't fucking watch this video, you know? Whereas this is, I don't know, it's kind of, and maybe it's just the New Vegas music, but I don't know, it feels kind of sad as an intro.
Hey guys, my name's Tomato Anus, the Airbud of speedrunning, and this is an any % speedrun of Fallout New Vegas. Recently, the biggest discovery in New Vegas in over 3 years occurred, which has allowed for about 90 seconds to be saved in the run. Before we get into it though, let me preface this with I won't be going full in-depth on all the strats and tricks used in this run. There just isn't enough time for that with how the run is now, plus I've done a few New Vegas heavy commentaries recently that explain most things. If you've never seen a New Vegas run before, I recommend you watch my video covering the run before this discovery was made. Link should be in the top right corner now and also in the description. Speaking of the description, there's also a link to this run with just game audio there, if you prefer to watch without my incessant blabbering. There isn't a version of this run with original audio for my stream, because I got this run in an offline session when I was doing a couple runs before heading off to work. With all that out of the way, as I said before, this is an any %.
Alright, I just went through and watched it again real quick and wrote some notes. Like I said, like, mentioning the exact amount of time save, you're not leaving any tricks up your sleeve, should just be a bit more vague. I said a lot of the run won't be explained because of the fact that I've already made this video covering the run and it was recent, and if you're unfamiliar with New Vegas runs, to go watch those videos. So like the whole point of this video, it's called a speedrun explained, you know? Like the whole point of the video should be to explain it. And if you're telling your viewers up front, hey, I'm not going to be explaining everything, you're only shooting yourself in the foot. You're not doing yourself any favors with that. And then just kind of a weird vibe. I said, if you'd prefer to watch this without my incessant blabbering, and then go on to talk about how there's no stream audio because I did this run before work. I don't know. It just gives off kind of a weird off vibe to this video. And again, maybe it's just because of the depressing New Vegas music, the depressing New Vegas intro music, the depressing Doc Mitchell music more specifically. But just a weird start to this video kind of puts me off from wanting to continue it. So I understand this is one of the less popular Fallout runs I've done in the Speedrun Explained era. And I get it. I get it, because I would probably turn off by this point if I were watching this video as someone who didn't make it.
Run. That means that glitches and exploits are allowed while console commands are not. If you would prefer to watch a glitchless run, there's a link in the description to the current glitchless world record by a carry-on. The run begins, as always, in the Italian Doc Mitchell's house. When it came to special stats before, we would always lower our strength to 1 and perception to 4 in order to be able to bring both our endurance and charisma up to 10. The new glitch that you'll be seeing in a moment requires us to cripple our legs with an explosion. In New Vegas, each of your limbs have an individual health bar, which has a maximum value that is a set % of your maximum HP. If you have a lower max HP, then naturally your limbs will have a lower max HP as well. If we kept our endurance at 10 like we used to in the run, then the max HP for our legs would be so high that an explosion might not cripple them. Because of this, we just keep our endurance at 5 and max charisma alone. You may have noticed that at the start of the...
That's really interesting. I actually totally forgot about that. The whole leg health compared to our endurance. It's really, really interesting. Truly forgot about that. I think that having preview footage would be good, as always. I think that, again, having graphics pop out, kind of detailing that, and it, you know, summarizing and putting into words on screen would be a big help. Something I just did in the Starfield video I just released was near the beginning when I was explaining talking to the NPCs to skip their dialogue, I had a little text summary pop out, and I think that was good. And I want to do more. It's not that I forgot to do more throughout that video, but I wish I had done more. So I think that that's something I'm going to do more in the future when it calls for it. I don't want it to be a constant thing. Also, my lighting just got really weird. Let me fix that. And I don't know. Maybe this is something that's kind of beyond my scope of editing. But like, I can't help but think, oh, you know what will be kind of cool is having that the Vault Boy. You guys know in the Pip Boy there's the Vault Boy and it shows the limb health. Maybe having that pop in and have like a total health, like endurance thing at the top, and have some sort of visual where when you increase the total endurance or total health, the health bars get bigger for the limbs. You know, some sort of visual to go along with that. I think that there's opportunity for that, but that might be an ambitious edit. But I think it's doable. I think it's kind of doable.
I had 2 DLC pop-ups instead of just the typical one for the Caravan Pack. The second pop-up was for the Mercenary Pack, which has the Mercenary's grenade rifle in it. If you're of an average intelligence, you may have put 2 and 2 together and realized that this is what we'll be using to cause the explosion that will cripple our legs for the glitch.
That was a really weird line. If you're like kind of standoffish, I don't like the vibe of that. Again, the vibe just seems weird. Seems really. Is this my James Cameron video? Is this because I was going through a breakup, so the vibe is weird? Really interesting line choice for of average intelligence. Maybe it's maybe it's at when I just tried to film for the anthology one, I talked a bit about having the mentality going into these of trying to nip in the bud a bunch of comments. So I don't know, maybe I was just feeling a bit jaded by YouTube comments being like asking there's no stupid questions, but you know, asking a question that's a bit like, you know, in this era, speedrun comments were a lot more ignorant. So I guess maybe I was feeling jaded by the amount of ignorant comments I was getting. Who knows? But I don't like that line. That's a really weird vibe. Like, I was like,
notice that at the start of the
run, I had 2
DLC pop-ups instead of just the typical one for the Caravan Pack. The second pop-up was for the Mercenary Pack, which has the Mercenary's grenade rifle in it. If you're of an average intelligence, you may have put 2 in.
Like, that's so unnecessary. It's belittling. Why did I do that? Like, I get that I was trying to play it as a joke, but it's not a good joke. Like, just, I don't know. Like, it's not even saying that in the sense of like, it's not a good joke because it's just rude, but it's just like, it's not a good joke. There's barely any humor there. It's just like belittling. It's condescending. Very condescending.
2 together and realize that this is what we'll be using to cause the explosion.
Especially because of the fact that, and maybe I put that in there because as the video, as a speedrunner, as someone so involved with the development of the changing of, I saw the changing of the route firsthand and the reasoning for it. So it was like, oh, well, naturally, yeah, we swapped our DLC. So naturally it's going to be because we're going to use this to break our legs. Forest for the trees type stuff. But like, maybe I didn't realize what it's like to view one of these videos, because especially now that I've been watching a lot of my videos, like, man, are they hard to follow at times? Is there like zero, like they're very lean at times. There's very little fluff at times. It's very like you're struggling as a viewer to keep up. So it's kind of ridiculous to ask a viewer, present information to a viewer and assume that they'll be able to connect information that I've already presented immediately. You know, there's zero time there. It's just really weird comment.
That will cripple our legs for the glitch. We could just tag the explosive skill and start the game with dynamite, but the glitch requires precise timing and the grenade launcher allows for us to easily time it right. The second thing that we need to perform the glitch is the 357 revolver. Chet refused to sell us the gun, so we had to resort to turning his head into chunky marinara sauce, seeing as the game is in Italian and all. With Chet dead, we manifest Destiny, the gun and ammo.
I think I like the joke, turning his head to chunky marinara with Italian. The timing on this is good. I love delivery of a joke for something that's going to happen, and then you give it time to see it play out. Like, I love scripting moments like that, or scripting a moment like, it's so funny. Last night I listened to, long story, I listened to an old interview that I was a part of a while ago, and in it I talked how I script out small moments, and one of them is like, in the Oblivion video, I said something about giving him a mean left hook or something like that, and then there's a beat in the video where there's no commentary, and then there's just the audio from the and I love that. I love using, not all jokes need to be in the commentary. Some of the jokes can be just from timing with gameplay and sounds in the game. In the Control video, the dude getting blasted in the head with a canister. Sometimes games are just really funny on their own. And I love taking a moment to let the game deliver the punchline. Like, this makes sense as a joke on its own, but it does feel like it's capped by a punchline there, which I really enjoy.
In Italian and all. With Chet dead, we manifest Destiny, the gun and ammo off his body, and then head outside to perform the glitch.
Something similar that I've talked about to an extent before is, I do like the use of like manifest destiny as a verb there. I like replacing, instead of just saying we grab this stuff, we manifest destiny, instead of saying like we, replace. I like that as a source of humor, replacing verbs or nouns with things that like kind of mean the same. I'm sure there's a word for that. But I do like that a lot. That's something that I've been trying to get back to, because that feels like kind of core to me, saying stuff like that, like just being a little goofy with the wording. I just realized I didn't give photosensitivity warning, so photosensitivity warning now, because a lot of flashing about to happen.
That's right. The glitch that I've avoided mentioning the name of is what we have dubbed the infinite dash. With Chet dead, we manifest Destiny.
It's weird, I feel like there was a lack of build-up here. The build-up could have been done better before the reveal of the glitch.
Destiny, the gun and ammo off his body, and then head outside to perform the glitch. That's right.
Yeah, like all this talk of the glitch up front, and then giving the glitch like 15 seconds of no commentary to breathe and you can see. it definitely felt like I was going for a grand reveal of what it was. But definitely does not land. It definitely needed more build up, more time spent dedicated to it in advance. Like, I would scrap all of that stuff in the intro. I would shift up everything. Like, talk about special stats and whatnot during the intro. Talk about Chet well in advance, show preview footage, and then start kind of building up the glitch and kind of talking around it. Explain it while talk around it, you know? Explain reload dashing, and then explain enough of infinite dash to where the viewer will have an understanding of all the underlying mechanics and the underlying glitches, so that when it happens, they go, oh, you know, like, we'll see how I explain it here. And then I'm going to pause and talk about kind of how I might have been able to explain it in advance for the shoe to then drop and the viewer to then piece it all together. Because I do think there's an opportunity for that here.
The glitch that I've avoided mentioning the name of is what we have dubbed the Infinite Dash. Never before has the Mojave Wasteland been such a tourist destination now that you can become a fighter jet here. I'll explain how it works in a moment, but first let me explain two things. First is that I'm sorry for all the loading screens. It's required to quick save quick load every second or so to keep the glitch going, and I understand that it can be...
I just realized I didn't give photosensitivity warning, so photosensitivity warning now, because a lot of flashing about to happen.
Hard to watch. The glitch is only used for a couple minutes, and if you find it hard to watch, feel free to close your eyes and I'll let you know when it's over and you can open them again. The second thing to explain is what my goal is now that I'm a plane. Typically in a New Vegas run, we have to go to several isolated locations in the wasteland to meet various tribes. This was done by fast...
It's really bad of me to give that photosensitivity warning after the fact, but at least I gave one, but very, very sloppy, very poor. It doesn't really help.
Traveling to a nearby location and then reload dashing all the way to the tribe. Instead, we perform an infinite dash at the very beginning of the run and proceed to discover each tribe location that we would typically have to reload dash to. This cuts out the long reload dashing segments to meet the Great Khans at the Red Rock Canyon and the Boomers at Nellis Air Force Base. It also allows for us to discover the El Dorado substation directly instead of discovering Black Mountain and reload dashing over later on. Pretty much, we take any part from later in the game that would require multiple reload dashes and do them now with an infinite dash. My end goal right now is to make it to Nellis and meet the Boomers now, bypassing having to meet them later. Unfortunately, we can't actually meet the Khans now like we do with the Boomers because the trigger box in the canyon to meet them only becomes active when we have the quest after we speak with Yes Man. That being said, once we've discovered all necessary locations and meet the Boomers, I'll fast travel to the Aerotech Office Park, which is the location I've discovered while infinite dashing. From there, I'll do 2 reload dashes to board the monorail, enter the strip, and begin the part of the run that you're probably more familiar with. If you still have your eyes closed, I've just now landed at Nellis and you can open them again. That is...
Alright, yeah, you can open them if you're watching the retrospective. I can't believe that I haven't even begun to explain the glitch yet. I've been explaining why we're doing it, all this kind of stuff, and I'm going to be explaining this glitch, I guess, after it's all done. Like, that's kind of ridiculous to me, the fact that this is being explained after it's all done. There should have been serious reorganizing of the script. Like I said, remove a bunch of stuff in the intro, shift everything back, and explain up front the core pieces so that the viewer has an understanding, and then there's the big reveal. But I'm waiting to hear how I explain it, and then I'm going to talk about how I would have done that build up. But yeah, it's just really weird, the the order of this, the priorities I give things, and yeah, it's just
if you haven't fallen asleep to the sound of my nasally Chicago accent. Now that we're beginning to enter familiar territory again, let's talk more in depth about infinite dashing, how it's done, and how it was found.
Yeah, so it seems like I took the approach of assume the viewers just watched your New Vegas video explaining the run, and this is here to fill in gaps about the new thing. They're already familiar with all the stuff that you've gone, like that you typically go over. And like, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because I think on one hand, like, this video kind of serves as a companion piece, which is fine. It's fine. But I especially nowadays really like to try and have my videos be more standalone, especially when you're explaining tech, you know, like it's a balance, because especially if you have a lot of returning viewers, like, do you want to have every video explain all of the same tech over and over and over? Or like, how much leeway do you give your audience that some of these things become remembered or more common knowledge thanks to the previous videos? So it's a tough balance trying to find that. And that was something I really struggled with. And it's why I kind of prefer to take an approach of have every video be standalone and take your previous experiences explaining something and refine them. If you watch my Portal 1 video, I spend a good amount of time talking about movement up front. If you watch my Half-Life video, I talk about movement up front, but it's much shorter. It's not like, I, of course, haven't rewatched the Portal 1 video, but from my memory, I spend a good amount of time talking about speed caps with bunny hopping. I don't think that's necessary, which is why in the Half-Life video, I seriously cut down on that. I didn't treat it as a companion piece to the Portal 1 video. I didn't say, I covered this all before in Portal 1. You guys know what I'm saying. You know, I didn't do that. I treated the video and run itself as standalone with respect. Not saying that there's not respect here for the run, but it's more self-contained, which is good. I think self-containment is good. I think that you shouldn't try to ride a previous video. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because all projects are unique, you know? It's like, especially with speedrunning, it's weird to have a video kind of be a sequel to another video. It's kind of weird. So I guess, again, in whole, what I'm trying to say is I should not have treated this as a companion piece. I should have treated it as an opportunity to refine my explanations, explain them, you know, explain everything still, but maybe just at a more general level. Don't have to go as in the weeds on things because it's not necessary. It's already been covered, like I just said, but it should still be covered. I feel like, I don't know, lazy. The videos kind of feels a little lazy to me.
Infinite dashing is done by beginning to perform a reload dash up to the point where we pull up our Pip-Boy. Instead of unequipping our gun though, we just put our Pip-Boy back down. This is then followed by quick saving and quick loading, with us crippling our legs at the same time as us quick loading. Yep, New Vegas pretty much has speed cripple in it again. Luckily.
But I'm explaining this all so, like, minutes. When did I do the reload dash or the infinite dash? Let's see. I started infinite dashing like almost 3 minutes ago, and I'm just explaining it now. I'm sorry, that's so bad. It really seems like the whole point of this video is just to explain infinite dashing. You know? The whole point of this video is to explain infinite dashing. That's what this is built around. And I don't think that works, especially when you explain it a minute after the glitch has left the run, 3 minutes after it was initially performed. What did I expect? Someone to watch this part and then go back to when I first perform it 3 minutes ago? No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yep, New Vegas pretty much has speed cripple in it again. Luckily, the timing for doing this with an explosion is pretty lenient compared to doing it by running off a cliff like in the any percent run of Fallout 3. The timing for the quick load is made even easier with the grenade launcher. Firing the grenade launcher straight up into the air gives you just enough time to perform all the necessary actions, wherein doing so quickly will perfectly time out the glitch. The reason why we have to quick save quick load so much is twofold.
Like I could have totally, here's what I could have done. Now that I've seen the explanation, at least most of it, I could have totally been like, again, cut out the discrediting intro, shift explanations up to during doc, and then during the end of doc and getting the stuff from Chet, be like, so there's a glitch in Fallout 3 New Vegas speed cripple where you break your legs and you load at the same time and it stacks your speed. It really kind of bugs out the game. There's also a glitch called reload dashing, where you reload one bullet at a time, reload animation, unequip, whatever, and you dash forward. Normally, our understanding until now was that you can't reload dash when your legs are broken, meaning that you cannot have both speed cripple and reload dash. But what if we break our legs at the same time? What if we break our legs at the same exact time as performing a reload dash? What I'm going to do is fire the grenade launcher straight into the air, which perfectly times it out so that it'll land as I'm finishing the reload dash. Let's see what the result is. This is the new glitch. Let's see how this is going to cause us to save a minute. Over a minute. And then it happens, and you're like, yeah, we can frickin' fly if we do them at the same time. I'm using this to nullify all of the reload dashing I need to do around the map. We're just knocking it all out right now. We're flying around discovering all the fast travel locations for later. This saves like almost 90 seconds, which is huge in a run that's 900 seconds long. I think that should have been the approach. It sets stages. It sets the stage for the glitch to be revealed. It explains the glitch in advance and kind of what our understanding was beforehand. And it makes the arrival of Infinite Dash have more impact and more weight when you think about it in relation to the Fallout New Vegas speedrun in general and its impacts on the route. And then I could then talk about, like I just kind of alluded to, talk about the routing differences. Before we had to reload dash to all of these places individually, but now we can do them all at once. Really quickly. I think that's how this should have gone down. I think that makes this video much more cohesive, much more engaging. It doesn't tip your hand too early. It gives the viewer the information they need when they need it, before they need it. Keeps things simple. Just this is quickly becoming my least favorite video of mine. This is very quickly becoming a video I'm not happy with at all, which before I was very ambivalent towards it.
The first reason is that the glitch stops working if you begin to lose altitude and enter a falling animation. By spamming quick save quick load while in the air, It continually resets our vertical velocity, allowing for us to continue to dash without falling or stopping.
And again, like stuff like that, how the glitch actually works once you're doing it, then that can then be explained when I'm actually doing it, you know? You set the stage with like, what if we do them at the same time, you know? And then it happens, and then you start getting into the weeds of explaining the stuff that you need to know when it's happening, or how it works when it's actually happening. The fact that you have to constantly quick save, quick load, and the reasoning why. I think that that's what I should have done.
The second reason why we have to quick save, quick load so much is that if we didn't, the game would surely crash. New Vegas, as well as all other Gamebryo and Creation Kit games, have a hard time loading a lot at once. If you travel across the overworld quickly, the game won't be able to keep up and will just stop functioning. Having said that, quick saving and quick loading does not fix all crashes with this glitch. I'd say about 40 to 50% of runs I attempted with this glitch ended with a crash on the initial infinite dash.
Like this just, it feels like the commentary is so detached from the actual run, you know? It feels like I'm just, I feel like I'm losing my mind watching this. Like, it feels like there should be fucking Subway Surfers up on the side. It feels like I'm watching a video of someone speedrun Fallout New Vegas while someone talks about Fallout New Vegas tech completely unrelated to what I'm watching. I mean, and that's basically what this is. It's just not cohesive at all. This is so disappointing. It's so... The commentary is just so disconnected from the video that they're just two separate entities, and it doesn't make this feel like a Speedrun Explained video. It just feels like a Tomato Anus is going to talk about how this one glitch works while he speedruns Fallout New Vegas. That's what it feels like.
Now, the fact that losing altitude causes for us to lose the dash kinda sucks. We have a lot of locations to discover, and some of them have pretty low triggers for discovering the fast travel location. That's why with some locations, namely Red Rock Canyon and El Dorado Substation, we tried to avoid bumping into as many objects along the way to keep our altitude low. If we do accidentally get launched into the air, we can either just continue to dash in circles, or we can pull up our Pip-Boy. As you dash, you gradually lose altitude, but at a rate that doesn't end the dash. By just continually flying around, we'll eventually lower far enough down to discover the locations. The other method, pulling up our Pip-Boy, is a lot more risky than just stalling. While flying, you can pull up your Pip-Boy, which drops your height by a sizable amount. The only issue is that after you put your Pip-Boy away, you have to spam quick save quick load to get the dash going again, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes your dash will just stop. Speaking of stopping your dash, you may be asking, how do I stop when I decide it's time to stop?
No one was asking that. Everyone at this point is so confused.
Well, that's simple. Just stop holding W. Doing so will just cause you to fall and for the dash to stop. You want to know what doesn't stop your dash though? Fast traveling and saving/loading. The fact that you can fast travel while having infinite dash is how we got back to Good Springs from Red Rock Canyon without losing the dash. All you have to do is make sure that you're slammed against a rock or a slope though when you pull up your Pip-Boy. Otherwise, you'll lose height and therefore the dash, or you won't be able to fast travel since you're not on something the game considers to be.
Right now I'm talking about how I fast traveled from Red Rocks. That is something that literally happened 5 minutes ago. We're at 8:18 in the video and I'm talking about something from 3:10.
Ground. As I said a moment ago, saving and loading doesn't stop your infinite dash. By this I mean that if you have the dash and then make a save, you can then load that save at any time and you'll still have the dash. However, if you have infinite dash and load an old save where you didn't have it, then when you load in, you won't have the dash. The dash only works when loading a save where you had it, and not the other way around. With that being said, there's a download link in the description to a setup save that has infinite dash upon leaving Chet's store in Good Springs. If you play New Vegas on PC, feel free to download the save and try it out for yourself. All you have to do is download the save file and drag it into your New Vegas saves folder. When you load the save, just make sure you're holding W and don't stop holding it. That's the only trick to doing the glitch. Infinite dashing was initially discovered by a runner named Elias. Elias was doing a bingo run of New Vegas when he got launched high into the air. While he was falling, he began to reload dash and pulled up his Pip-Boy. Remembering you can't reload dash while falling, he put his Pip-Boy away and quick save quick loaded to break his momentum and survive the fall. The timing on the quick load was perfect and he performed the first known infinite dash. Well, it wasn't necessarily infinite since he just got launched into the air and fell shortly after, losing the dash. This was on June 3rd, 2019.
Like, it's ridiculous I'm telling this story without showing clips. This feels like a script written for a video it feels like it could be like an edited video, you know, like a speed cut video or like an information piece about this. And like, I show the footage, I show all this stuff, but it just has the gameplay in the background. Like, maybe a way to frame this video would have been explaining that glitch and all, explaining it like I'm doing it, but editing it like normal, and then be like, by the way, I did a run with this. It's going to be going in the corner this entire time. Let's check in with it from time to time. And then like it gets really small in the corner and it's going on. And then be like, all right, brief interlude. Let's see where we're at in the run. Oh, okay. Right now I'm meeting the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm going to be going around meeting all the factions. All right, let's get back to talking about Infinite Dash, and it shrinks again. That would have been an interesting, unique take on the video where it could still include a speedrun being explained if I really wanted to keep that. But this really should have just been its own video explaining how Infinite Dash works and how it was found. And you could call it like new Fallout. You could call it like new Fallout New Vegas glitch lets you turn into a plane or something like that. Like, here's how. I feel like that would perform better on YouTube, and you could still also keep the speedrun explained aspect in there. Keep like I said, just check in from time to time. This video could have and totally should have been framed entirely different and been an entirely different format.
And the New Vegas speedrunning community quickly got to work. Within half an hour of Elias's initial messages explaining how he achieved the glitch and a video of it, a primarily Fallout 4 runner named Gingenia was able to reproduce the glitch. It was quickly noted by both Elias and Concobra that the glitch will continue infinitely as long as you stay grounded. Elias also noted shortly after how the glitch is stored through saves. It was later in the day when current world record holder Shero discovered that quick saving and quick loading in the air will continually chain the dash over and over. At this time, our only setup for the glitch was launching ourselves into the air off a rock with a reload dash and then manually timing out the setup and quick load. Runners began testing to try a theoretical dash from Goodsprings all the way to the monorail. Both myself and Shero were able to successfully complete this trek by the start of day 2 with the glitch, but you would know that if you followed me on Twitter when I shared a video of it. Later on in day 2, Kung Cobra was dead if you followed me on Twitter when I shared a video of it.
I like that. I like the I like plugging myself really quickly. I love the really quick plugs for like Twitter and stuff because it's just so offhand. I think that's fine. I think that's funny. Please follow me on Twitter. I'm desperate. Just really, really quick. It doesn't derail the video at all. Unlike how this entire video has been a derailed explanation of infinite dashing.
Later on in day 2, Kung Cobra was able to get an infinite dash that took him from near the Hidden Valley all the way up to Nellis and then back towards the Strip before his game crashed. The glitch certainly was fun, but the idea of grinding for a good launch early in the run, followed by trying to get a hard glitch, further followed by inconsistent crashing, certainly didn't sound like a fun way to run the game. That was until our Lord and Savior Brongle discovered the grenade launcher setup we use in the run now.
And like, this so needs editing explaining, like, this so needed to be the type of video I was explaining a minute ago. There's so many names and times and timelines being thrown at you. It's impossible to follow. This is impossible to follow. Like, I would love to show this video to someone and afterwards sit down and be like, okay, explain to me how infinite dashing works and how it was found. Explain to me. Like, what did you retain? Not like as a way of grilling them, but like just seeing how effective this video actually is at conveying that information, because this is not good. This is really not good.
Near this time, Kung Cobra found the dynamite setup, which is rather consistent, but ultimately we gravitated towards using the grenade launcher since it's just slightly easier to use. After Brongle discovered the grenade launcher setup on day 2, we were able to get much more practice with the glitch and increase our volume of attempts at the run. By the end of day 2, we had ironed out the details of the route as it is now, and within 72 hours of the glitch being found, Cheryl was able to lower his world record from 12:17 to 11:31. At the time of this recording, he has lowered the world record to 10:59, becoming the first person to finish New Vegas in under 11 minutes. We believe that the best possible run a human can get right now is somewhere around 10:40, and Cheryl has set his goal for under 10:50. Kung Cobra has also been doing runs with infinite dashing, and is setting his sights on a time near Cheryl's as well, since those two are far and above the best runners of the game. As of right now, the 3 of us are the only ones to complete a full run with infinite dashing, and I have to say, I'm pretty fond of the glitch. Sure, the crashing sucks, but overall, it's a pretty fun feeling flying around the Mojave and imagining the denizens panicking as they see a body zip around. Overall though, that's about all there is to infinite dashing. We do actually do it one more time in this run though. When we arrive at Hoover Dam in a moment, instead of reload dashing along the whole length of the dam, we instead just perform one infinite dash and fly the whole way. Other than that, there isn't much else to say about infinite dashing. Oh, one thing is that if you're going to do this glitch, and you successfully fast travel without losing height, but when you load in you aren't dashing, just let go of W for a second and then hold it again. That should restore the dash.
So weird that just that line alone, that's not included with this stuff where I'm talking about how to download the save and how to do it. So weird that that's just thrown in randomly. Like, you can tell that this was a video. I feel like this video was really thrown together. Not much thought went into structuring. Like, I don't know. It's a shame. I'm honestly very likely to remove this from the Speedrun Explained playlist, because this does not hold up to my standards at all. This is rough.
And if you're actually going to trigger the dash yourself with a grenade launcher or whatever, and when you perform it in initially quick load you aren't moving, despite holding W, just jump once and the dash will begin. You can see me do this at the beginning of my run when I initially get the dash. With that being said, I don't have much else to say about the run or the glitch, so I hope you enjoy watching this run come to a close. This was an any % run of Fallout New Vegas with infinite dashing. I've been Tomato Anus, and I hope you have an above average day.
Man. Yeah, this... I'll let it play out in the background, but man, was that... Not a fan of this one. This was really disappointing. It's barely even a speedrun explained. I explained 2 things as they happened. I explained the getting... That was just... I'm kind of... Like... I'm... What's the word? Befuddled at this? I'm like just shocked that I passed this off as a speedrun explained, because I barely explained the speedrun. Barely. It's a 15-minute video, and 2 minutes of it. The first minute is intro. The second and third minute are explaining the run, and then the rest is just talking about infinite dashing. This is really brutal, like, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Generally, just not a fan of it. If I were to redo a video, I have another video in all of these that I just scrolled past between here and where we are now. There's one of those videos that I always consider to be my least favorite video I've ever made, and I would redo it in a heartbeat. This one might be number 1 now. This one's pretty rough. Pretty rough. But just to kind of run through the notes I took again, I typed them this time because I'm going to be transferring them to my note after I finish anthology next month because I already started writing notes for anthology in here when I attempted to do that and had to call it quits. The intro does a lot to discredit the video. Like I mentioned, I tipped my hand way too early. The whole point of the video is to explain, like I just said, the run's barely explained in that video. Why am I making this video if I'm not explaining the run? You know, it's just a weird vibe from the jump, and then it just doesn't get any better. The humor, there were a couple okay moments, but generally the humor wasn't really there. Again, the vibe was really weird with being like, if you're of an average intelligence, really weird. I liked one moment I enjoyed was the letting the game deliver the punchline of killing Chet. Love when that can happen. And also enjoyed the wording of like manifest destiny, the ammo off of him. I think that was good. But then, yeah, the whole rest of the video was just brutal. Like there was an attempt to build up infinite dash for the reveal. But really, really lackluster. The stage was barely set. It should have been something like, you know, talk about how you can't reload dash and have speed cripple at the same time. All that kind of stuff. And then be like, well, you know, the stage needed to be set more. There was opportunity there, but really, really squandered. So yeah, generally, I guess those are my general thoughts on it. Really, really not happy with it, to be honest. But hey, that's what this is for, you know, trying to learn. And I feel like I learned a lot. Made me think of different ways to frame stuff. It made me think of different ways to set the stages for glitch. You don't need to explain a glitch all up front. You can kind of explain the process of performing it. You know, if the results are going to last a while and there's like ample opportunity for talking about the glitch while it's going on and talking about the implications of it, great. You can explain how it's performed before it's performed and then let the effect be revealed by the actual performance of it. And yeah, generally just, I feel like that's a big takeaway is figuring out how to better frame talking about a glitch, especially when it's a big one like this. But yeah, I think that's all then. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, let me know if you have any comments, questions. Yeah, feel free. I'll answer any you guys leave if you have any questions, or would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this as well. Hear your guys' perspective on the video. If you guys have critiques, fire away. Like don't hold back on my account if you have any critiques. I would love to hear if you guys have any thoughts. If anything in this video that we just watched you enjoyed, or aspects you have similar critiques on, or different critiques, you know, all ears. I love to hear from you guys as well, because, you know, like I said earlier, forest for the trees. It's really hard for me to know how you guys respond to a video since I'm the one making it. It's a totally different experience for me being in, like, making these videos than it is for you guys watching it all and having the information be delivered to you by way of the video. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Again, thank you for watching. If you're watching on Patreon, thank you. Thank you for supporting on there. And yeah, I'll be back next month with the Fallout Anthology one. Finally tackling that once I am well rested after the holidays. Peace, everyone. Peace.